much of the heavy lifting here. I just made sure it was in a proper legal form, but these guys really did the heavy lifting, and as did you, sir.
Well, no,
with a lot of the negotiations with the Village of Portchester, which are not always easy. But as the board is aware, we've been negotiating since August with the Village of Portchester for space for the town offices and the court, and we have reached an agreement. I mean, the latest meeting, I think, was on Friday morning at the Village Hall. This lease is consistent with the letter of intent that you had seen, I think, 2 months ago. The highlights are it's a 10-year lease with 2 5-year options. We are getting space at 222 Grace Church Street for the town offices, and we are getting space at 350 North Main Street for the court. The build-out at 222 will be the responsibility of the town of Rye. We are getting a $95,000 credit on that build-out, which will be paid to us as a reduction in the rent at a rate of $19,000 per year for 5 years.
So just when I see this, the rent in term, Schedule B, that's before the amortization, correct?
That is before I believe that's correct. As you can see attached to Schedule B and C, we have the additional years as well built in, so there is predictability as far as the rent goes. The court facilities, we did communicate and work closely with our 2 town judges to accommodate their needs. We believe that at 350 Main Street will be in very good shape for our court. The village has agreed to spend $50,000 to construct additional space or more, but our contribution to that will be $25,000. And with that additional space, our judges and court clerk are very happy that they'll have sufficient space and access to the building to conduct the Rye Town Court as they do now. So there shouldn't be any interruption in the court operation. So all in all, the sale of 10 Pearl will not take place until May at the earliest. So we will remain in this building until then. The rent will not kick in here until 10 days after we get a certificate of occupancy from the Village of Portchester. So essentially, we're at status quo for the next 3 or 4 months. But once this kicks in, I think there'll be a considerable savings to the town, which will alter all other numbers that you've looked at in terms of town operations. I think we're saving about $100,000 a year. So with that, it's up to you. This is your lease.
Can I just, well, first of all, again, thank you, Mr. Knauer. I know you
My
a lot
pleasure.
of hours went into this. Thank you, Mr. Villanova and Mr. Watson, for your hard work at the new headquarters.
Yeah, I just...
Please, yes.
At the bottom of page 12, there's a typo.
12 on the rider?
On the rider, yes. Options to extend term.
Yes, okay.
Last line.
Tenant shall be at the rate of in the manner?
Yeah, probably should read at the rate as set forth in Schedule C, in the manner provided.
Well, so it shall pay fixed rent at the rate in the manner, but just take out of.
Yeah, take out of and probably insert as set forth in Schedule C.
Yeah, and I did insert a written on paragraph 37, it says lease commencement rent. I inserted in handwriting, which Joe will initial, the lease shall be for 10 years with 2 5-year options pursuant to paragraph 53. Ironically, that after all this time, we didn't have that one line in there. So there was considerable, back and forth on this.
Now, Mr. Nowotnik and Mr. Villanova, are we on track to move in May now? Well, April, actually.
As a matter of fact, I want to give this to you guys. This is just a rough schedule that I want to hand out. It will show you that the shaded areas have already been dealt with. And you'll notice that the lease ready to be signed was actually scheduled for today. And we approved it.
It's been approved, by the way, in Portchester. Mayor Pagano called me last night.
Yeah. We are a touch behind on our IT. We should have had our telecom company already selected. We think we have, but what we want to do is we want to go out into the marketplace.
Well, I guess, thank you, I appreciate it. No, this is wonderful. This is a terrific work document. And we should, can you give us a monthly update? You should be updating us every month, obviously, but It sounds like, are we pretty much still on track?
We're pretty much on track, yes.
All right.
We're very comfortable that this is going to happen on time.
All right, and Mr. Noto, what's our risk on the back end on the sales contract, on the sale contract?
Well, if we, I don't remember offhand, but I believe it was by the end of, by June. If we're not out of here by June, we would be paying a nominal rent. I think it was,
Right.
let's see if I can
Well,
find.
we wanted, that's, I don't need the
That's
details,
wrong
but,
one, it's in another file.
So the liability is the backside of the liability is that we would have to pay a month's rent.
right.
Yeah, there is a slim chance that if we didn't,
So what, again, so that's why we want to just make sure we execute,
Well,
right?
listen, Bishop and I are chopping at the bit, and for lack of a better term, and we need to have the leases signed,
Great.
and then we can go forward. Then you see, the whole thing here is that we have clear direction from our board. We're ready to go. We're ready to did the work and selecting furniture already, and so all of that's happening.
if I may, our projected closing date is May 23rd, but there's a 30-day grace after that. That takes us to June 23rd. At the conclusion of the 1-month 30-day grace, then we would pay rent on a monthly basis as prorated for 1% of the purchase price, or $18,000 per year for each part. So that's not a hefty
All
penalty.
right, and then sorry, if we sign that contract, what's our status?
We
on
did
that?
sign it.
We signed it.
You
So
signed it, you're signing the amendment tonight.
Then that's, okay.
So we're good to go on that.
Okay, so we're basically done. If we
Once you approve this lease,
we're
we're
done.
done. You're out of here.
And I just want to make this statement.
Yeah.
The key
It's a historic day.
The key thing for Bishop and I is that the Village of Portchester signs it, and they're fully on board, and the lease is signed, and they're good to go, because the staff, the Village of Portchester staff, needed to have clear direction from the board that this lease is happening, the town of Rye is going to be the tenant, and now give them everything they need to do this build-out so they can get in there.
Perfect.
So
Great.
we're there.
But now we're there, right?
We're there, we're
Monday
there.
night, Mayor Pagano called me and said
We're
they
there.
approved it. Okay.
And you can sign yours tonight.
Okay, any questions on the lease? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the lease? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Hope, would you call the roll, please?
Collins, Mendocino, Knauer, Villanova.
Yes.
Carbon.
Yes. Okay, hallelujah, right. Oh,
All right, so I have some inside for you to
I
sign.
even got I even tell the cameraman even tell the cameraman.
Tom's not going to have to.
Not gonna have to hear this anymore.
lug that camera around anymore.
Yeah, Tommy, you got to work on that. But at Portchester, they got my bald spot in the back there. You got to move that camera angle, Tom. Okay.
So before you leave, I need you to sign these leases.
Yeah, we got Town Assessor Knauer. Anything else?
Just briefly?
Oh, very briefly.
Sorry.
Got a hard stop at 9:30 here tonight.
Okay. I forgot last month to tell you that Aldo notified us that Rye Ridge Shopping Center tax cert was discontinued for years 2006, 2007, 2008.
Beautiful.
So that's
Great.
good news. And the other thing is, if people have not registered for Basic Star, they need to do that by December 31st.
right.
So that's a
Thank you.
reminder, the deadline is looming.
Oh, wow. That's what's the process? You got to go to New York State?
Call or go online. The phone number is 518-457-2036. And again, it's not an assessment office function, but if you're having trouble, we can help you. But you do have to do it through New York State.
So it's
either
518-457-2036.
Correct.
All right.
And if you Google New York Star registration, it should take you right to their site.
Beautiful. Great.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Less than 5 minutes.
Okay, Finance, Mr. Burns, we good? Nothing? Great, thank you, good, thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Receiver of Taxes is not here tonight, is everybody okay?
Not here.
Mr. Meck, okay?
He has
He had
surgery,
some
right?
oral surgery today.
Oh, wow, is he okay?
He's fine, he's fine.
All right.
But
Well, we wish
he
him
did
our
leave
best.
these with him, just in
Yes,
case,
please,
with
yep.
me rather. Just reminding everyone that the second installment of the Village of Portchester taxes are due by December 31st. And also, if anyone wishes to pay their school tax, the second half is due by the end of January, but if they want to get it in for the income this year, it's, you can pay it by December 31st.
Thank you so much.
That's for Portchester, Blindbrook, and Glenneck School. And then I submitted my report.
Right.
But I do want to wish Michelle many wonderful years of good health and relaxation.
Thank you.
I enjoyed working with you.
Same
And
here.
everyone,
Absolutely.
a Merry Christmas and a very happy holiday. Please enjoy.
Thank you so much, Town Clerk Vespia. Town Attorney Noto.
Nothing new to report. I do want to wish Michelle well, and we go back to my county legislator days, and she was on the Roy Brook board, so it was always a pleasure working with Michelle. It was a lot of fun, in fact, working with Michelle. She's always a straight shooter, and it's been great.
rare.
So I'm going to miss you. I really am. It's been fun having you on the board. So not that Tommy's not a great successor. He'll have high heels big high heels to fill. But anyway, you've been lots of fun, and you've done a great job for the town. You really have.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Town Attorney Noto. Crawford Park, we don't have anything in Crawford Park, do we?
No.
Okay. And Mr. DeCrescenzo's not here tonight.
No.
Is he okay?
I think there's only one item on his report.
That's okay. We can read it, right? Is there anything we got to...
Jefferson Avenue.
Right. Okay.
Well, no, wait, that's
Sure.
important, though. What's this, we have this, got scheduled?
We still don't have a schedule, but all of the sections, all of the bridge sections, which are about 120 feet long,
Yeah.
are on site.
Yeah.
And over the next month or so, they will be installed. The road perhaps will be graded, but we don't have a finish date, which says it'll probably be March or April when the weather breaks.
Do we know if they're over or under budget?
We're over.
They are over budget, if I can reel you back, by about $100,000 or so.
That was the sewage line.
Right, which was related to that aspect there. That has not been resolved yet. We have not seen any billing. We've only paid them to the tune of about, I think, $400,000 so far.
Great.
Very
Thanks so much, Mr. Nowotnik. I'm going to start with Mr. Knauer, and I'm going to let you have the last word tonight, Councilman Simeon. Councilman Knauer?
Well, first of all, I'd like to, I know congratulations are in order, Michelle, but it's been a pleasure working with you on the board. I hope in whatever you choose to do, you have some fun and you enjoy it, and maybe you'll want some time off. And I'd like to wish everyone out there a happy and safe holiday and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Knauer. Deputy Supervisor Villanova?
I think it's important that everyone understands this move is critical for the town of Rye, and up until this point, there's a lot of activity in the background to try to get to this. Now it's crunch time. So for the next 5 months, it's going to be it's going to be stressful probably for some of the department heads, and just know that anything that we can do to help, if there's specific resources that our departments need, to help with the transition, if you're finding that there's an obstacle making that move, just let us know right away. We want to make sure that we make this as seamless as we can, because the success of this move is going to be based on how everything happens at the end of 2014, and that's we want nothing but success for the department and for the town of Rye. You talk about the kind of Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holiday season, and we had those the two young people here talking about poverty, and there's a lot of donations that are given to some families that are living in poverty and are having a tough time. But one thing that I found out this year is that it's great to give somebody a ham or a turkey, but I'm sorry. But you find out that they don't have an oven to cook it in, and so it's important that we look out for everybody, and that's important.
That's
So.
Thank you.
So, anyway, sorry. Hey, Michelle. I've had nothing but a great time with you. And,
Don't make me cry.
Forget them.
and you've been a good support for me you know, and we kind of switched roles. I was the minority member on the board, and but we worked very well together, and you know, I can't thank you enough. And you're a class act, and you never let disagreements or different opinions on this board, you know, affect you know, what our personal life is outside, and that's something that goes back. And Raymond mentioned Bob Morbido earlier, and the one thing that is important that everybody needs to know, and especially now, is that we may disagree on these boards, on any board, but we all live in our community. And it's just because we have a difference of an opinion doesn't mean that we're not friends outside of here. And and Bob Morbido set that tone for me back when I was first elected. And you know, it's kind of like leave the job at the job, and you leave the board here at the board. And when you're out in the street, you know, we're all really trying to do as best we can for our community. So Michelle, we love you, and you know. Thank you.
Get her a tissue.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Well, I'm going to go ahead if you don't mind.
Well, I just had
You
a
wanna
question.
go?
Did we
Please.
pass the budget?
I think
Yeah.
we did, didn't we?
Okay.
You did,
Because you
yes.
said you were going to get back to it, and
I
I was like, did we
apologize.
pass
Did
the
we get back
budget?
to it?
No, you did, you did.
Okay, thank you.
I think you were still reeling in the flowers.
I know.
Opening your Well, look, I just you know, want to thank you also, Michelle. I know, of course, you may remember in 2005 we ran against each other.
I know, I remember.
And Michelle kicked my butt. She was the top vote getter that year, and Billy was the second top vote getter. And you know, and even when we were opponents in the race, you were always, as I think Billy summed up, you were a class act.
Thank you.
And what was always funny, because when I was running again for town supervisor, I'd go to the senior center. I'd see your mom, and I'd say, well, you know, I think, you know, you should replace the current town supervisor. And he said, but yeah, but not my daughter. I go, no. And I had to say, I said, you can vote for everybody except for you can vote for Michelle too. You know, look, it's great to see your daughter here. Glad to hear that your dad got you involved. Don't get me started now. But anyway, 18 years of service, of committed service to our community. Wonderful public servant, and it's always enjoyed having you here on the left of me. For 6 years, I've always enjoyed working with you. You really are a class act, and I know. I hope you'll stay involved in the community. I know you will. Thank you so much.
I will, yes, and thank you. I mean, I don't want to say too much because I'm very sentimental and I really will start crying. Thank you for the beautiful gift. That was really above and beyond. That was gorgeous, and the flowers and all the accommodations, and all I can say is I just did it from my heart, and I really love being here with everyone. I've lived my entire life in this community, and like I said, I'll be more than happy to help you, Tom, with everything you might need. Just give me a call, and thank you to Raymond. And yes, I'm around. If anybody needs me, I'm here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. With that, would you make a motion to bring the meeting to a close?
Okay, motion to end meeting.
A second?
So moved.
All right, all in favor. Thanks so much.
Yay. Good thing my daughter came.